Stimulate your mind, man. It's Friday. Gonna get you high.
I'm starting off fresh, and I feel good. I look good. I smells good. I am good.
It's Friday.
It's Friday!
It's Friday.
It's Friday! Friday!
Happy Friday, my friend.
Perfect.
Here's a message of importance to millions of people who are continually pale and washed out, weak and run down. Doctors will tell you that these conditions are often caused by a deficiency of iron. The iron you need to keep you physically fit and mentally alert. Medical studies show that 2 out of 3 women and many, many men lack the daily iron your body requires in a form your body can easily use and put to work. Every dose gives you more than your daily minimum iron requirement.
We are weak. We are weak. We are not alone. We are striving for more.
So if you're not getting the iron your body needs, if you feel weak, run down, and are easily upset,
We are striving for more.
start taking iron today.
A wizard is never late. Nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to.
Let me ask you something. When you come in on Monday and you're not feeling real well, does anyone ever say to you, sounds like someone has a case of the Mondays?
No.
Sounds like somebody's got a
No,
case of the
man.
Mondays.
Shit, no, man. I believe you get your ass kicked saying something like that, man.
And a TGIF. Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to Have No Sphere. That's what I wanted to do. I've been setting up some different movements on OBS, and still when the crunch time came, I forgot to hit the right button and still faded it in like always, even though I had the new move transitions set up. Oh well, done now. I fixed it. It's good. We've got a show, believe it or not. We've got Andrew B going to come on and do a presentation on electricity. No, God bless America. That's what I get for trying to do it without looking. But
is it a front day?
It must be. Whatever the fuck that is. Front day? What's front day?
I don't know. You played Monday stuff, and you seem to be having a fumble at 5, so I just thought it might be a front day.
Just a day.
Right. That's how I feel.
That's how I feel too. Well,
Woogie.
Look, there he is. We're going to jump right in and we're going to say hello to folks. Boogie, Woogie.
What's up, folks?
Wake up. It's a brand new day.
Not morning either. We're all confused.
No, but I need to wake up.
It's a new day for Liz. Just saying.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is
It's
it
Saturday
already?
over there. She went to the future.
Is it already Saturday?
We fucked around too long. She went into the future. Now we got to catch up.
That's how long we screwed around. That's right, Walter. We fucked off for so long. It's now Saturday. Flat Earth Fridays, Flat Earth Saturday, and fuck it. No, but let's go ahead and say hello to Mrs. Cami Knodel. You might know her from her channel here on the YouTubes, Aisling717. Cami, You are looking mighty fine tonight, I must say. Got your hair all done up. Got your dress on. You're rocking it, girl.
Well, thank you. It's good to be here. It's all an optical illusion. Dress is
I
comfy.
said AI.
Yeah. No, you all saw when I did get on the show, we would have gone back like a half hour ago. My hair was, I think, up to here. I had it up in a bun and I pulled it down, and it's just doing its thing.
It's succumbing to the electromagnetic pull.
It's exactly doing it in the humidity. By the end of the show, it will be straight. Be back to sloppy. But it's a Friday night. It's good to be here. It is not Monday. It is not morning. It is again Saturday in Lisville. But Liz will soon be here in Carolina. Get you going on Carolina time. Sun is getting ready to set. Beautiful day. We just missed the rain, and we've got a good guest tonight. We have a presentation. We have Flattoberfest coming up. That's what we were talking about before the show. We're all getting a little bit more than a little excited, and can't wait to see a lot of you guys in person. Andrew, is it true you're not going to make it this time?
Unfortunately, yeah, I cannot make it this time. I really, really wanted to, but I had some very unexpected, very expensive expenses that I had to buy a new car. So like my savings was pretty much depleted at that point.
You just financed that
Never
shit.
knew fun.
But it's not just that, it's also because I'm a teacher and it's not very easy to find a substitute.
Especially when to match your caliber. I mean, everybody just sort of.
Well, I mean, substitutes never do as good as because they're just coming in like, oh, here's the subject to teach, and then they're not really on board with how the speed of the class and their learning ability and all that kind of stuff. So
yeah, you're right, Andrew. If they were any good, they'd be full time.
Well, some people are full-time substitutes, but they just go around from grade to grade and subject to subject. So
you're right, Andrew. If they were any good, they'd be tenured.
But yeah, tonight, I've been working on this for quite some time. I'm still working on it, but I'm gonna try and tweak it. No more for now. And I've been promising to do this, and I'm trying to get as much information out of my head and onto the computer as I can, and allowing homeschooling parents to use it for free. And I will make that available as soon as I convert it over from a Google Doc into like a PowerPoint or Adobe or whatever else. So that way I can easily share it. And today is going to be trying to answer the question, what is electricity? Because a lot of people are still very dumbfounded as to what it is. How does it work? I mean, what does it do? And it's still electrical theory, so a lot of people say, well, you still didn't answer the question, Andrew. I'm like, I don't think anyone can. But we attempt to do it as well as we possibly can. So whenever you're ready, I'll share my screen. Or we can just talk about something else in the meantime. But
well, give us just a few minutes. I wanted to say hello to Mr. Zack
cool.
Zabala. You all might recognize him from his channel here on YouTube's Good Times for All. Spell it however you think you should. You know, try it like 5 or 6 different ways, just for shits and giggles. See what pops up. Zack, how in the hell are you doing? Oh, by the way, you're looking sexy too, Zack.
Hey.
Don't let me make you feel left
He is,
out.
and he's my hero right now. He just brewed coffee. So I'm going to sneak away while he's introducing and bringing coffee back because y'all were making me really jealous, really jealous with those mugs. So thank you, Zack Zabala, my hero.
You are welcome. Yeah, not a bad day since this morning show.
Good.
Been fiddling around, getting everything in my head ready to where I'm going to set it all up because I want to have everything kind of set up before I take it to Flattoberfest. I'll probably do it. I was thinking on the ping pong table, but we might want to play some ping pong. But it'll be, we'll have the weekend to play ping pong. Yeah. I'll probably set it up on the ping pong table just to have it all ready to go and so we can demonstrate a little bit. We got to play with stuff before Oktoberfest too. I mean, come on. You guys are going to be here. We're going to play.
Got to test it and calibrate it and all that good shit anyway.
Blow something up maybe. We'll see.
Now we're talking. Blow some shit up. Let's move over.
Josh and Walt, how long are you planning on being there for?
The whole time.
The whole thing?
No, I mean, like for a week or?
No, the plan is we'll leave here. Right. Well, I mean, there's a chance I could take off a little early on Wednesday. We could blow out of here on a Wednesday at noon and be in by 10 p.m., 11 p.m. that night. On Wednesday night, theoretically.
Isn't it like a 20-hour drive for you?
It's like a 10-hour drive. That's 20 hours there and back.
Oh, don't make it that hard.
Yeah, luckily it's not that bad. It's 12 hours for me to drive to Walter and 10 hours for me to drive to Zack and Cami. Which I thought was strange.
Okay. Well, it's going to be the last one, so make the best of it.
Yep, figured might as well do it since we won't be able to.
I was talking to Jaron, and he was saying that he might try to carry the torch, essentially. So I told him I'd work with him on getting that set up if he ever is going to make that a serious thing.
That'd be cool.
That'd be real cool. You got about 8 weeks before you got to start figuring that shit out.
Yeah. I don't know shit about event coordination or management or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's got to be done so far and ahead of time to get a venue and all that kind of stuff. You really got to have it planned ahead.
Now, the venue that we have this year for an outdoor venue, it is spectacular. And I think the vibe, again, I think there's different, you have that, like, again, the hotel or the convention center vibes and that and the people, but there is something about being out in nature in the woods, but again, not exactly roughing it. If you see the place, it's nice. It has, again, gazebos, electricity, all of the amenities and that, but there's, I don't know, there's something special about this venue. So maybe in the future, we'll pick it up as a venue again and doing things because it has a lot of, again, different things going for it. So that's part of the shame of this being the last one, because I think, like, coming up on the last one, this venue is really spectacular.
It does look cool. Looks like there's going to be lots of room to get out and stretch your legs and explore and not have to necessarily get all cooped up and claustrophobic and agoraphobic, as it were. And a
little bit different than the Vegas vibes and that. And again, room for all of the different things. But this, again, proves having a festival, this is like very, very a festival vibe. So I think that's very cool.
It is really cool. And for me, it's sort of the definitive one that I would want to go to anyway. The one that's out in the woods where we can all sit around and hang around and go from campfire to campfire to campfire all night long until we just can't walk anymore. That's my idea of a good time.
Exactly. Talk or see, go to the river splash. You have the different speakers, interact with people. Outside, you have a beer. If you smoke, you have a cigarette, or again, whatever. You're just comfortable. You're not in, like, again, the freezing confines of air conditioning that you can't light up anything. You can't do this. You can, a lot of the conventions we've had it and doing it were, by necessity, we're crowded into tight spaces where it's really, really hard to sit and talk to people in groups and still see what's going on. Where this you can hear the big audience, you can be in the gazebo underneath it, but you can also, again, with the way the sound system, know what's going on and be sitting at a campfire. It's a very cool vibe.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And my road trip partner, my partner in crime, Mr. Walter Johnson. You might recognize him from his channel here on the YouTube's Flat Earth Head. Walter, how in the hell are you doing, sir?
There's that mute button. I'm good. I am having a rainy day, like achy bone rainy day. It's that kind of day here, but I'm making it through. Did my physical therapy this morning, and that helped. And Kratom will help here in a few minutes. So I'm making it. And it's definitely, everything is getting hectic on my end, just trying to line stuff up. Me and Shell sat down earlier and talked out like the details. Like right at the last second, she's like, well, I was thinking about going. I'm like, don't you even try this at this point. She's like, no, I'm just fucking with you.
Now you're not invited.
Especially after I told her, because right now you can't come. But after I told her Dixie was, staying home and not bored from the rabbit, she's like, oh, well, there goes my partner. And I'm like, right, well, there you go. So yeah, she's just fucking with me. But yeah, dude, this is just nuts. I can't wait. But yeah, over here, just the same old. Cats driving me crazy today. I don't know if it's the weather making them so insane, but Cleo has developed this thing now where she's walking through the house looking like she's creeping around for something's here. She kind of slowly goes by the bed. She goes slowly by the litter box. And there's nothing in here. Every other cat's acting normal. So I put the food out for her, which is way in that other house room over there. And everybody else is coming to get theirs. And she's still not in there. And it's like, where's Cleo? She's creeping. So now everybody else is finished with their food and heading for her bowls. And I'm trying to fend her bowl off from the other cats. And it's like, oh my God, psycho cats. I'm going to bring 5 of them with me, though, just to make it an interesting trip.
Hank loves cats.
Minions.
He seems like the kind that would. Sure. He definitely does. Minion, not so much.
Well, he hasn't had a whole lot of experience. He's been pretty scared and respectful of like cats that pretty much, again, if Hank's not there, he's a tough guy and everything, and if Hank's not there, he's a complete pussy. So,
gotta have his partner in crime.
Mm-hmm. Some legs to go hide under.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly right.
We also do have a bit of a treat. Pardon me. Maybe I'll take advantage of it. While he's here, I see Larry Dortch there in chat. If you want to know what it was like being a pre-flat earther, truther, and all of the awkward situations I've found myself in and conversations I've had amongst people that we work with and or would have come visit us. I've lived with Larry. I've worked with Larry. I think I've been in a relationship with Larry longer than I have with my ex-wife. Longer than my current wife. Almost longer than both of them put together. Damn near. He's my brother from another mother. No doubt. Few people know me as well as Larry Dortch. Love you. You guys need to come out. Bring the whole damn family back out. And bring me my lighter case. And I'll reward you. I'll give you a reward for bringing me my lighter case. For what it's worth, I got this one. This one's kind of cool. You can't really see it very well, but it's all hammered and it's got dents and imperfections in it. So, I don't know. Maybe you can keep that one. Maybe. Still, get a listen to the kids out here and you get a reward regardless. But I miss you. Mm-hmm. Love you. Good to see you there in chat. Happy Friday. But we do have a presentation to be made. And I don't want to surprise Andrew. I want to make sure I give a proper opportunity to build it and tease it and talk it up. That way he has a chance to come back to the computer, get situated, get settled, get everything ready, get his camera turned on so he can make his presentation. And we are happy to have you making your presentation tonight, Mr. Andrew B.
Awesome.
No, thank you for all of the times you come and hang out with us. Not just your presentation tonight, but for everything you do with us, and for the whole community. Andrew, let me just take a minute and tell you how much we appreciate you.
Well, it truly is my pleasure to do it. I ask for nothing in return, except for maybe just a thank you, and that's about it. So, whenever you're ready, whenever. And by the way, everyone in chat right now in the YouTube or whatever else, if you have any questions, I will not be able to look at that when I'm doing this, because I'm going to put it into the slideshow mode. So
I'll
if you
try
have
to
any,
keep my eye on it for you.
yeah,
there,
so if you
Andrew.
need any clarification on anything, let me know, because that will help me refine it more before I send it out for everyone to use as an actual homeschooling subject. So it starts off pretty basic, just with electrical safety, and then it gets into some more complicated things. But I'm going to do like this multiple times, and I'm going to probably do like 5 or 6 different presentations. It's going to end on like engineering and stuff like that, which is probably going to be super boring to a lot of people, but I'm going to do it either way.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for bringing your
Well, no,
boring
I mean,
shit
that's
to
like-
the show, Andrew. Much appreciated.
So let me share my screen.
And I'm just kidding. This is the home of John Savage and dry presentation.
Okay, so all right, so yeah, I by the way, I had to steal a whole bunch of these GIFs and photos just from like Google Images, and that's pretty much where I got all this stuff from. But I also have a couple of short videos to include with it, because some people are still going to be extraordinarily confused on certain things. And if anyone is a homeschooler and wants me to do this presentation for your kids, I'd be happy to do so. And that way they can ask questions and whatnot. So yeah, what is electricity? How does it work? So many people ask me that. And we'll get into that really quickly. So I need to move this part out of the way. Okay. Yeah, so part 1, I have it broken down into subjects. And can we see electricity? The answer is no. Because electricity, you can only see the effect of what it does. Hence the lightning strike down here on the bottom of the right side of the screen. And that's what is called ionization. And ionization happens when an atom or molecule changes its state of charge, either from positive or negative. And like right down here, it's all of a sudden it switches. So this is essentially the same kind of a concept that the analogy that gets used in physics and electrical engineering is like a billiard ball. So this is how electricity essentially works. Like you have a whole bunch of billiard balls lined up, you hit the one on, and then all of a sudden the one on the very end moves and the rest of them don't. And that's all because of that kinetic force. But anyways, so we cannot see electricity. It's like saying you can see sound. No, you can see the effect of sound. You cannot see sound, though. Continuing on with that. The easiest way to describe electricity is the movement of electrons on a conductive path. And I know a lot of people will still say electrons and atoms don't exist, but I know we can't see them, but we can use deductive reasoning to say that there's something that exists. Now, I'm not really sure if this is accurate or not, but either way, yeah, it's just a whole bunch of electrons, positive and negative. It doesn't actually have to be called positive or negative. It just means that they are completely opposite of each other. It could be left, right, up, down, black, white, doesn't really matter. And electrical current, okay, it has to have a power source of some sort, and it has to have an unbroken loop in order for it to work. So you have a power source. I'm going to get into this in more detail in a moment. And it also has to have a return path. So it goes through the load. The electrical load is the light bulb in this case. So I'm going through this a little bit quick right now, only because it's going to get into some more in-depth subjects. Okay, so now the power grid. A lot of people don't understand exactly how the power grid works. All they see is a whole bunch of power lines overhead and ones that are even underground that you're not even seeing. But yes, I used to work at a power plant, and unfortunately, I was the new hire and got laid off right when the whole Enron thing was going on. So they were like, all right, well, and then I got laid off, and I said, you know what, I quit. I'm not going to do this bullshit unemployment thing. So anyways, yeah, you have your power plant, and it starts from here, and it goes along these power lines. So at a power plant, most of them are going to be using things called turbine engines. And there's different types of turbine engines, and it causes it to spin really fast inside of a generator. That generator sends power over to a step-up transformer, also in some cases called a buck boost transformer. And then from here, it goes very, very high voltage, very unusable for anything. And then it comes over to a substation. The substation is going to use power conditioners, such as buck boost transformers and wavelength stabilizers and things like that. So from here, substations are going to send the power off in all different kinds of directions. And from here, it's also going to potentially go to another substation. Those substations are going to be taking that very high voltage, sometimes in the ballpark of 500,000 volts, and then dropping the voltage back down, and back down until you can actually use it in your home to plug in your computer and cook food. Because if you had that kind of voltage in a house, you would be dead. Nothing would work because it would just, it'd catch your house on fire. But so essentially, different buildings are going to use different voltages, and also, I'm not even getting into that right now because that's going to be like my second presentation, describing how motors and transformers and that kind of thing works. But it's associated with the power grid, though. It's really, really important to understand in regards to everything starts at a power plant, unless you have a generator, like a standby generator, which is considered its own little power station. Safety. The most important thing in electrical installations and work is being safe about it. These are some of the standard signs that you're going to see around like electrical areas, like generators and stuff. It'll say like, danger, high voltage, authorized personnel only. But some people still don't. It's really sad to say it, but some people neglect these signs and have been electrocuted. And electrocution, by the way, is pretty much means death. Electrical shock is not necessarily going to kill you, but it's going to hurt. But if you see a warning sign similar to these examples, be aware of the potential danger near you. And electricity doesn't care. It doesn't take any sides. So who's calling me? Put that over there. So this is just part one. I think I have 9 slides in electrical safety. So effects of electric current on the body. And this is not necessarily always true because everyone has a little bit of a different resistance to electricity. And there's this one guy, they call him Electro Man. He's an Indian guy that he can move around 5 amps through his heart and survive. But for the typical person, if you have 100 milliamps or 200 milliamps, that's pretty much death because it will send your heart into something called fibrillation. That's when it causes an irregular beat, or it'll cause it to skip several beats, sending you into cardiac arrest, which basically means you're having a heart attack. But then, and by the way, they actually have tested this on people. It was a UC Berkeley professor back in the 70s that he would have his students grab onto some wires, and he would gradually increase the amount of amps that was going over into their body. And then as soon as they couldn't hold on to that anymore, they just let go because they said, it's starting to hurt. And that was the invention of the ground fault circuit interrupter. Again, that's going to be second presentation. So they used college students as human guinea pigs, essentially. But if it passed, the most dangerous place to have electrical current pass through your body is through your heart. And electricity can save you. It can kill you. It can also bring you back to life. Like those paddles you see in movies and TV shows where they rub them together and they say clear. The rubbing them together thing is just it's theatrical. It makes no difference if they do that. But what they do is they put those on the chest.
Thank you, Walter.
And from there, they say clear, meaning get your hands off of that, like if any other medical people are there, because if they shock that person to get their heart starting again, and the other person has their hands on their whatever, on touching that person, they're going to get that same amount of electricity potentially. So that's what they do that for. But electricity is very, very dangerous, even in small amounts. But it's the amperage that's more dangerous, essentially. But voltage is also dangerous as well, but I'm not getting into that at the moment. Remember, this is also for homeschoolers. I know a lot of this stuff might seem extraordinarily simple and obvious, but not for a 12 or 14-year-old kid. So electricity can easily kill. Good. Say what?
Oh, I've been fussing at the cat when she stepped across the keyboard.
Okay.
If you heard me say something,
Yeah, you guys can interrupt me at any point.
Sorry.
I mean, that's what I tell my class too. Like, don't wait till the end, and just ask now, while it's fresh in your mind. So, electricity can easily harm or kill humans and animals. Unfortunately, a lot of young children have been electrocuted to death with electrical outlets, when they're
Yeah.
little toddlers and they
Fork
figure
in
out.
the outlet. Yep. Or a
Yep.
little. Yeah. It's horrible.
But that's why if you have little kids that are very curious, go and get or ask an electrician, or if you know how to do it yourself, it's called the TR type, which is a tamper-resistant type, where you have to actually have the ground prong put in first, and then it will unlatch, or it will release this little latch that allows the hot and the neutral to go into the 3-prong outlet. So it's fairly easy to do. It's just make sure you turn the power off. And anyways, electricity causes lots of fires in homes each year. Well, not just homes, but in buildings. And I think that the fire marshals and stuff don't always necessarily know what the cause of the fire was, so they do blame it on electrical fires all too often. But you can see all that kind of stuff on the OSHA website, which I'm not even getting into OSHA right now. Yeah, electricity can cause major injuries, even if it isn't fatal. Like just looking at these pictures down here, yeah, this guy's, not fatal. That's really bad, and that was, not very good to experience that kind of thing. Because remember, the electricity, a lot of people think it takes the path of least resistance. That's not true. It's not even close to being true. Electricity takes all paths. And I'm going to show you guys some other stuff about that in a little bit. But the other thing about electrical shock is that, if you go from hand to hand, that means it's going to go through your heart. But it's also going to go potentially through your knees and your head or your shoulders. It's going to take all.
It's going to go through everything. Yeah. The search for that, once it finds that path and hits that ground, then it all will start flowing through that even faster. But for that first initial thing, it's going to reach out throughout everything. It's searching.
Yeah, and trauma surgeons will always tell you that electrical shocks, if someone gets brought in and they're unconscious and whatnot, they see electrical burns on their body. It's extraordinarily difficult to locate which part of their organs are actually damaged and cooked. And it's sort of like, I always talk about it like this. They say that if you shoot someone with a .22 and it hits them in the abdomen, and it can bounce all around inside their body, causing all kinds of stuff. And also trauma surgeons say the same thing like that. But anyways, it can mess you up. And I've been shocked many times. It's one of those things I don't ever like experiencing, but sometimes someone messes up and, shit happens. But electrical arcs can reach temperatures of 35,000 degrees Fahrenheit, which can melt, ignite, or vaporize any solid material. It also can affect different liquids and whatnot, like oils. But, okay, so hopefully this never happens to you. Okay, again, never work on energized circuits unless you know what you're doing. That's actually a federal law for electricians and engineers. We are not allowed to work on anything that is energized unless there's more risk at disconnecting the power than for us working on it while it's live, such as
lockout, tag out, right?
Exactly. Yeah. That's going to be on a next presentation, but lockout, lotto. And this happens quite often at hospitals. You have to, like, all of a sudden a transformer, you have to work on it. And you have to keep the power on. So there's all these different safety protocols and stuff we have to go through and stuff like that. And they usually you're on camera the entire time with an emergency crew nearby in case anything happens. But like in hospitals, you can't just disconnect the power to the surgical department or the intensive care department, because then you're going to kill a bunch of people. And always wear proper PPE, such as if you're going to do an electrical work, you can get standard gloves that are electrical and not electrical. They're rated for doing electrical work, and also safety glasses. One of the main things I see people not wearing on job sites is like, oh my gosh, it's so bad. And anyways, always wear the proper PPE. I'm a big stickler when it comes to that, and so is OSHA. Yeah, always use the right tool for the right job too, because I see people all the time. They pull out their like their Leatherman, that little multi-tool. It's just completely metal, and I'm seeing them like twist down on something. I'm like, what are you doing? You're going to kill yourself. So don't use the right tool for the right job. And if you don't know what you're doing, just consult with a qualified electrician or engineer if you need any help or advice. And I will give you all the advice I can possibly give you, should you choose to. I'm going to give you guys all my information at the end of this. Okay, so again, electrical safety part 5. There are 4 types of electrical faults that can occur. An electrical fault will cause a circuit breaker to trip, a fuse to blow, or a motor controller to open or trip. If any one of these faults occur, this could result in an arc blast, which is also an arc. They work together. So an arc blast and an arc flash happen at the same time. The flash is the part where the heat occurs, and the blast is the part which can basically rupture your eardrums. Doesn't always happen. With a high enough voltage, yes, it could. So, yeah, we have overloads, ground faults, short circuits, and arc faults. I'm going to be describing each one of these. Okay, so if a short circuit or ground fault occurs, it may result in an arc blast and arc flash. And
our electrical testing facility, we're going to find out why arc flash and arc blast are so dangerous. Let's check out the final preparations. We're going to energize this power panel, similar to the type found in almost every industrial facility, to see what happens when we create an arc flash. But first, I'm out of here.
We're ready to test.
Smart man.
3, 2, 1.
Damn! A worker has no chance of getting out of the way. An arc flash can reach 35,000 degrees Fahrenheit, causing disabling second and third degree burns in seconds. It creates a pressure wave called an arc blast that can reach thousands of pounds per square inch, enough to knock someone off a ladder, rupture an eardrum, or collapse a lung. It'll blow equipment apart and propel shrapnel with enough force to completely penetrate a worker's body. An unprotected worker could be severely injured or killed.
I was wondering the same thing, Zach. That seems a little incongruent with what I would think.
It's like
30,000 pounds, I think, is going to do more than collapse a lung. It's like it's going to red mist.
I mean, it just said thousands, but even thousands, like 1,000 pounds is like the best hitter in UFC history. You know, that's like Chuck Liddell hitting you with a jackhammer right, coming down. Boom, that big, huge thump that he threw with.
Yeah, and unfortunately, you can go on YouTube, and maybe after this, I'll show you some of the more graphic ones where they did not live. Guaranteed.
Oh, yeah, for sure, yeah.
You don't even see them afterwards. Like, what happened?
Disintegrated, yeah. They do way more than collapse a lung or, anything like that.
Is why every electrical course that anyone will ever take is always going to start off with safety. That's why I'm starting this off right now. I think I go to number 9 as far as that's where I end the safety. But the next one I do is going to be more safety, but just more detail. But yeah, overloads. This unfortunately is very, very common. So an overload will occur when an electrical load draws more electrical current, rated in amps, than the circuit breaker or fuse is able to handle. Because all these circuit breakers, like down here, they're all rated in. You can see it right on the handle. I can't really see what this one is. I think it's like a 15 amp circuit breaker.
Stick a bunch of nickels in there.
Not anymore. No. So yeah, it's unfortunate that some people will put. This is going to be again. They put really small wires on bigger circuit breakers, and the circuit breaker basically works as a check valve, allowing a certain amount of power to amps to pass through it. But they're also rated in voltage as well. So, yeah, and then fuses down here. This is a little tiny fuse you'd use inside of like a piece of electronic equipment or a computer. So, but then there's a lot of different types of fuses, and rated in different, and they have different purposes. Circuit breakers can be reset. A fuse cannot, because fuses have this this little piece of wire in there, and that wire will basically disintegrate as soon as too much current passes through it. And by the way, yes, they're wired in series and are designed to break and open the circuit in the event of an overload. And overloads occur for a lot of different reasons, but it's pretty much the most common reason that circuit breakers trip, and circuit breakers should be maintained on a regular basis. But
say we're lightning to hit a wire, could that cause an overload? Or say a lightning hits the substation? We had that happen. Or no, a squirrel actually got fried on one of the substations, jumping from one thing to another, like it connected something it wasn't supposed to. I remember that. It shut down the factory for the whole day because we were out in the middle of nowhere in the country, and we had, cornfields surrounding us, and then a little substation in the corner of the property. And I remember that because I was outside when it happened. I saw the flash. And
yeah, I've seen that too. Like birds will land on wires, and squirrels will crawl. They'll walk on the wires as well. And for the most part, no big deal because they have no connection to ground. They're part of the circuit, but there's no complete path, so they're fine. But once in a while, that bird will it'll fly off, but it'll get way too close to the other power line, and all of a sudden it creates an arcing, which is called a parallel arc, which I'm going to discuss in a moment. And I've seen it happen. All of a sudden, like off in the distance, you just see a big, like a bright flash, and then after that, you see something fall to the ground. You're like, oh crap. Bye-bye, birdie. So, yeah, a load, by the way, is a common term used to describe anything that uses electricity. As an example down here, light bulbs, refrigerators, computers, exhaust fans, and anything that uses electricity. Yeah, that's what a load is. And ground faults. So a ground fault occurs when an energized conductor comes in contact with anything that is grounded. And that means, literally, if it goes into the ground, I'm talking about alternating current right now, by the way. DC is a little different. But anyways, anything that's grounded. So buildings have to be grounded. Everything has to be grounded. A long time ago, people's homes would get hit by lightning, and it would get absorbed into the wires in the actual home itself. Not a whole lot, but enough to actually kill someone that walks over and touches the valve on their sink. It gets absorbed into the copper wire, or whatever they used back then, the plumbing or the electrical wires. But now we actually require grounding inside the house as well, and we also have figured out how to ground things a lot better. That's going to be phase 2 of my presentation, though. But yeah, grounded literally means the ground, the earth, putting it in the dirt. You have to do that with ground rods, ground rings, and different things. Yeah, so this means that anything that has a continuous path to and from an energized source, and anything that is connected to the earth. And I'm going to have a graphic for this in more detail, but it'll make a lot more sense coming up here. And then we have different types of arc faults. We have 2 different types. A series arc fault, that's just like on a light switch, as an example. It's interesting, if you guys have never done this before, go over to a light switch, put your ear really close to the light switch, and slowly move the light switch into the on or off position. What you're going to hear is a little pop, and that's considered a series arc fault. A series arc, it's not a fault necessarily, but arc faults can be just as dangerous to humans and buildings, but either way, that's an intended arc fault. We have to have it. Well, it's an intended arc. But then we have a parallel arc fault. This might be where you have an extension cord that someone accidentally wasn't taking care of, and it's got a whole bunch of nicks and rips and on the outside insulation. Then all of a sudden you can have a parallel arc fault. These are much more dangerous, and I've seen a lot of fires occur because of that. But the cool thing is that we have these things called AFCIs, that is an arc fault circuit interrupter that it'll sense if it's got like a little circuit board inside of it that says, oh, there's a parallel arc going, and it'll trip itself, and it won't allow the power to come back on until that's resolved. And okay, was that it? Yeah, number 9. Okay. And yeah, again, there's more electrical safety than that, a lot more. But I can't get into this in extreme detail until my next presentation. So there are 6 different methods for producing electricity. Now, there's more than this, but these are the basic ones. And some of them actually work together. Like, let's see, light and heat, solar panels, magnetism. This is basically how alternating current works, chemical and pressure can be also working the same as well. And that is with like batteries, and then you can have, there's these different, again, I'm just doing this in a nice, fast way, explaining the basics. Okay, so we have conductors. So there are many different types of conductors. And yeah, a conductor can be, that's a typo, I gotta fix that. It should be described as any material that easily allows electrons to flow. Just keeping it nice and simple. The most common conductor used today is copper. And the reason we use copper is because it's very abundant and it's extraordinarily good in regards to dielectric values and low resistance. But other common conductors are silver, gold, aluminum, and even steel and platinum and all these different things. So yeah, copper right there, silver, gold, and aluminum. Those are pretty much the four most common types. And a lot of people like, where do we have silver and gold conductors? Your cell phone has.
Yeah, computers.
Yep.
Like the whole circuit board, all of your what are they called? The drive, the Pentium, whatever, blah blah blah. All
CPU?
Those. Yeah, the CPU.
Also the CMOS as well.
Most of that thing is gold.
Yeah, they're gold plated. So.
Yeah, it's like tons of gold. I forget, it's like 20 to 30 tons of gold that gets thrown away in computer components, cell phones, stuff like that, thrown into like trash a year. Yeah. Tons and tons and tons of gold and silver and platinum, and yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, don't throw it away. I mean, just take it down to like a cell phone store, like a cell phone repair store, and they'll probably give you $5 or $10 for it, depending on the model you have. But then they'll also take apart the other components and reuse those as well. But yeah, it's interestingly enough too. I think it was the iPhone 7. Apple had to put a delay on releasing that phone for production because they said that they needed 3,000 tons of silver, and they didn't have enough. That's how much silver they had to use for all of their worldwide cell phones. Anyways,
any decent audio video cables too. Any decent audio and video cable is going to be gold or gold plated.
Oh yeah.
Because it's that superconductivity of gold, part of probably what makes it inherently valuable. And
it doesn't
very
corrode.
Low resistance. Yeah, no corrosion.
Yeah.
Correct. All of these are they're non-ferrous, meaning they don't contain iron, which means they're non-magnetic. But I should actually put these in order. The best natural conductor is actually silver. It has a dielectric value, I think, of 1. I think, and then copper is 2. But then you can get smaller dielectric values, meaning that there's less and less resistance as you use different materials. So, different types of conductors are also called semiconductors. And that's essentially why Silicon Valley became such a big place to work, because it was where the technology boom of the United States happened and the majority of the world. And this is where, like, if you want to talk about the difference between what is electrical versus electronic, it's semiconductors. And if it has a semiconductor, it's electronic, hence a circuit board. And we have all these different types of integrated circuits, transistors, diodes, capacitors, resistors, and op-amps. But these are called semiconductors. So it's a resistor and a conductor at the same exact time. And if you want to learn more about that, you have to study electronic engineering. So again, insulators. Most circuits are required to have some sort of an insulator around it. That is, like, if it's above 50 volts, it's required to be insulated. So yeah, insulators are the opposite of conductors. An insulator can be defined as any material that resists the flow of voltage and current. And if we didn't have insulators, electrical circuits would not function very well and it'd be very, very dangerous. And yeah, common types of insulators are thermoplastic, glass, porcelain, rubber, air. A lot of people never even think about that. Distilled water, yeah. Distilled water is non-conductive unless you put like 10 billion volts through it, in which case it will be. Because, by the way, anything can turn into a conductor with enough voltage. And I get into the
Yeah, I was going to bring that up. Like everything eventually is a conductor. It'll destroy and go through everything eventually, but some things it travels much more freely and doesn't do much damage to it while it's doing it, while other things it would.
Yeah, and everything has that type of resistive value to it, and you can find that out by using a special tool called a megometer. And now we're going into circuits. And by the way, if anyone in chat has any questions, feel free to ask. Like I said, I'm going through this a little quicker than I normally would. But so an electrical circuit is an unbroken loop of conductive materials, e.g. copper wires, that allows voltage and amperage to flow from beginning to end. All electrical circuits require a minimum of 2 conductors that are named the ungrounded conductor, the hot conductor. That's the one that's connected directly to the main point of the power source, whether it be a battery or a generator. But then the grounded conductor, known as the neutral, also has to come back to that same power source. As soon as you disconnect one of those, everything will stop working. Doesn't mean the voltage is gone, it just means the circuit won't work. And we have 6 different ways to describe circuits: series, parallel, combination, closed, open, and short circuits. Short circuits are interesting because they're also bad, which can cause an overload and whatever else, but we use those intentionally in some cases, like for GFCIs, as well as for photocells on street lamps. So a series circuit, it's as simple as can be. It has only one path for the current to flow, and this is the little schematic symbol for a single pole switch, where you have a battery and power source, whatever it is, and it goes over to the light bulb, and as soon as you open the circuit, it turns off. A parallel circuit is defined as a circuit that has 2 or more paths for voltage and current to flow. So in this case, another battery, and it has 3 different legs of a parallel circuit. So pretty simple stuff. And don't overthink it. Otherwise, well, just keep it as simple as that. And combination circuits. Combination circuit uses both series and parallel circuits together. Some people actually just call them a series parallel circuit. This is the most common type of circuit to ever work with, because power comes into a building in series, and then it splits off in parallel in your panel, and then all of a sudden it splits off in parallel again throughout with all the wiring inside of your walls and whatnot. So it'll turn into something like this. Oops, I need to fix that. Okay. But yeah, so R1, this is the generic symbol, by the way, for what a resistor is. It doesn't mean anything specific. It's just a resistor, something that uses electricity, a load. And again, closed circuits and open circuits. Closed circuit will allow current and voltage to flow on a conductor in order to energize an electrical load. So this is just a little cartoonish thing, and it shows that the power is coming out, going through the light bulb, and it's no problem. In this case, the light bulb would not turn off because there's no switch. All of a sudden, you disconnect that wire, and nothing happens, except that this red wire would still be energized, but it doesn't have a return path to the actual power source, hence being an open circuit. And now, again, short circuits. So a short circuit occurs when an electrical path exists without a resistor in series or parallel with the power source. So this is actually the one on the left right here. I just made this in Microsoft Paint, and then finally, I found a GIF that actually explains it pretty well. So short circuit is the most commonly misused term. Like electricians get, like, if I go to someone's house to do like a service call or something, and they say, "Oh yeah, I got a short circuit. I need to. Can you figure out what's going on?" I'm like, "How do you know it's a short circuit?" No, not necessarily the case. So why is it called a short circuit? Well, in this case, we have a series circuit, as simple as it gets. Then all of a sudden, you take another piece of wire and you connect the hot and the neutral together, which bypasses the entire the load, in this case a light bulb, and that will cause the power source to overheat. But what you'd actually also have is a circuit breaker or a fuse in series with that, so hopefully that would prevent anything bad from happening. So that's a short circuit. It takes a short path back to the power source. All right, now we have 2 different types of electricity. And I always tell people this: if you can come up with a third type, you need to go talk to to somebody, and because you're going to be extraordinarily wealthy. But as far as we know, there's only 2 different types. Now we can use these different types and create different methods, or use different methods to create these. But these are the 2 different categories: direct current and alternating current. And yes, by the way, AC/DC, the band, derived their name off of these 2 electrical principles. All right, so electrical terms. Now, there's a lot more than this. Okay? I mean, there's loads more. But these are the terms directly associated with Ohm's law, which I'm going to get into in just a moment. So we have voltage, amperage, resistance, and power. So voltage, we use the electrical symbol of E because it stands for electromotive force, EMF. And then amperage is I, and there's actually 2 different reasons, but most like physics books will say, well, why is the symbol I used? Well, it stands for intensity, or the Latin word impetus, which I think means the same thing, or like volume of something. And then resistance, it's just R, or you can actually use the omega symbol. We're going to get into that in a moment. And then power, which is either a P, just means power, or W for watts, and then or volt amps. Volt amps is for alternating current nonlinear loads. So yeah, this pie chart, this is Ohm's law. Every electrician, HVAC technician, engineer, electronics technician, we all have to know this. Yeah, so this pie chart looks complicated, but it really isn't difficult to understand. Oh, I need to keep moving that. So yeah, this is a cheat sheet for understanding the relationship as to how voltage, amperage, resistance, and power work together. That's not actually the definition of Ohm's law, because they don't actually, the definition doesn't even describe power. But looking at this, let's just go with volts for now, with the E. And if you wanted to find out how much voltage there is on a particular circuit, you can use 3 different formulas for it. But you always have to have a minimum of 2 electrical values in order to solve for something. It's a basic, arithmetic principle. You can't solve an equation unless you have at least 2 values. So this is, I'm going to show you the next one right here. This is a simplified version of it. So let's just say that you wanted to solve for your resistance. How much resistance do you have on the circuit? Well, if you already know how much voltage you have and you know how much amperage you have, so the E over I is just an algebraic formula. So E over I equals R. And then if you wanted to solve for E, how much voltage, it would be I times R. So all you have to do is put your hand over one of those, and it shows you how to do that. And again, this is I'm not going to play this. It's like a 4.5-minute video. But if you want to know more about Ohm's law, well, watch this short video for more information. That's going to be for anyone that's homeschooling. Or if I'm doing it as a presentation for anyone, then I'll actually play it. But not a big deal at the moment. All right, how can we measure electricity? Well, there's lots of different ways. Yeah, there are a lot of different types and brands of measuring instruments that are used to test and troubleshoot electrical circuits. Digital multimeters are the most common type. So the one right here in the very middle, the Fluke, which is, by the way, the brand I recommend for if you ever buy a multimeter and you're serious about. Yeah, Fluke. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can go down to Harbor Freight and buy yourself a piece of shit little multimeter, but I wouldn't trust those things.
No, I've destroyed 2 of those things. I won't even try it with the Fluke. Like playing with my toys, I've fried 2 meters so far, so I'm done.
Now, Flukes actually have
probably take it. Yeah, it's probably got the stuff in it to stop it from getting destroyed.
Yeah, but you can still fuck them up.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And that's going to be like presentation number 3 when I actually go through and explain how to use the multimeters and how to troubleshoot circuits. And then I'll even take my Fluke apart, and show you guys what's inside of it and how it works. When I was going through my electronics training, we actually had to build a multimeter. It was about the equivalent of a little cheap $10 one you buy at Harbor Freight, but Flukes are not like that. This is the Rolls Royce of electrical meters. So that's the brand. And there's all these different types of meters here. They all have different purposes, but ultimately meters are broken down into 2 classifications, which is digital and analog. Analog basically just means physical.
And Fluke doesn't just make the meters; they make all the electrical tools. Any type of tool you'll need for electricity. It's a little more expensive, but if you're working like on big stuff, it's worth it. It's, you know, it's worth your life. And these are, you know, like you said, the Rolls Royce of electrical gear. Yeah, it's awesome stuff.
And I had one on here. I don't know why I took it off, because I think one of these is supposed to be an oscilloscope. I think this one on the bottom left might be an oscilloscope. But yeah, an oscilloscope, that's electricians don't use those. Electronics technicians do. That's like circuit boards and whatnot. All right, so now I'm going to get into direct current. Here are 4 examples of how direct current is produced. Now there is more, but so batteries in the bottom left, you guys all know what batteries are. Capacitors, very much like batteries, but work a little bit differently, because batteries are rated in amp hours, or in this case, these small ones, milliamp hours. These are measured in microfarads, named after the gentleman Michael Faraday. And then it can also these are required, by the way, in order to create a Tesla coil. It creates that spark gap. Solar panels, also known as photovoltaic modules. And yeah, those are everywhere here in California now. And in most places
My
in the
Tesla
country.
coil has a transistor.
Wonder why.
Yeah, it doesn't. It has just a transistor, one resistor, and 3 capacitors.
All right. Never heard of that one. Interesting. And then static charges. This is a type of charge occurs when different materials come in contact with each other, created by friction. And this is why you should use dryer sheets inside of your clothes dryer. If you've ever not put one of those in there and you put your hand in there, you might receive a small electrical shock because of the static charge buildup. And that's what those dryer sheets do, is it neutralizes the materials. So it takes away that static charge. And now they come with fragrance. Direct current part 2. Oh, crap. I didn't finish this one. Oh.
Some
Anyways,
real
yeah,
amateur bullshit.
But yeah, this is just the same slide or the same GIF I had from the other one. But yeah, direct current, it just moves in one direction. That's it. It's sort of like it's a one-way road. That's it. That's all direct current is. And it's derived from these different types of things. And there's more, but this is the basic way of doing it. Oh, here we go. I did finish it. Okay. Not sure why I did that. So yeah, direct current moves in one direction. This DC circuit includes a battery as the power source and a single pole switch and a light bulb. When the switch is open, the electrical current stops flowing. It's not very difficult. And this is the one I just made on Microsoft Paint again. I should probably get a little more professional and do it differently. But so yeah, the red line represents a direct current power source with no load connected. So whatever the voltage happens to be, if there's no load connected, it's pretty much going to stay equal the entire time, or stay consistent. But as soon as you attach a load to the power source, then all of a sudden, over time, it will go down and down and down until it reaches 0, essentially. So if you happen to accidentally leave your dome lights on in your car, and the next day you come out and your battery's dead, this is what was going on. So it's an amplitude and magnitude type of thing to discuss. And this also goes into entropy. Now, the complicated part. Alternating current. Nikola Tesla, Serbian immigrant, was a hyper-genius engineer and inventor who changed the world with his invention of alternating current in the early 1900s. And here's the 2 quotes that I like from Tesla. Electric power is everywhere present in unlimited quantities and can drive the world's machinery without the need of coal, oil, gas, or any other of the common fuels. I completely agree with that.
Now there are over 600 patents that are hidden by the United States government, and I bet a few of them could make that happen. Right there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But that would be detrimental to the economy.
Oh, it would collapse. Yeah, it would collapse like every single country's economy.
Or it would just make other people rich that are, building the infrastructure and everything that it would take to actually do this. But it could be done.
Yeah, later on I might show you guys a free energy device that someone says they swear it works, but you need a whole bunch of them in order to make it work. I can't remember what the name of it is at the moment, but and they're super easy to make too. Anyways, then he also said no free energy device will ever be allowed to reach the market. It's true. I mean, think about how much electricity is being used right now all across our flat Earth. I couldn't even imagine. It's probably upwards of $1 trillion a day is being utilized.
Yeah, think of how much time people have to go to work to pay for that electricity.
Mm-hmm. It is by far the most valuable industry that's ever existed.
It's a lot of manpower to pay for electricity being put into stuff.
They're not going to just let us. Yeah. Methods for producing alternating current. AC generators. This is just an example of some that might be installed as backup generators at a hospital or a data center or a large skyscraper or something like that. So yeah, AC generators. This is the most common method used today. And I don't know what the size of these are, but either way. Then we also have inverters. Inverters are used in solar installations to convert the direct current, which is what solar does, and it has to create it, bounce it back over into alternating current. All right, alternating current again. Did I fuck up? Okay, no. The standard AC voltage used in homes throughout the United States is a 120, 240 volts, 60 hertz. Other countries, though, use 240 volts, single phase, 50 hertz. I still don't understand exactly why, but I've heard that those countries, they think that this is more efficient. The higher the voltage, the lower amperage, the lower the amperage, the smaller the wire. But the 50 hertz thing, I don't get that one. All right, so now this is where it starts getting a little tricky. And I know that if you guys have questions about this, please ask. So this is known as a sine wave, and which is created when a rotating conductor cuts through a magnetic field. This may look complicated, but it's actually pretty easy to understand. So let's talk about it. So let's say you have a generator, like one of these right here, and all of a sudden you turn it on. Well, all of a sudden it starts to spin. So it goes up to 90 degrees. That's a quarter of a turn. Then half a turn, another quarter of a turn, and it goes, and it just does that. And that's called one wave cycle, which means 1 hertz. And we use 60 hertz. So that means 60 hertz, you have 60 cycles per second. So your lights are actually turning on and off 60 times every single second, but we can't see that. The human eye can only distinguish around 20 to 25 hertz before you start getting a headache. So, and we use 3-phase power, and that's also going to be in phase number 3, and that's when I'm going to get into vector math, explaining why we use 3-phase and not 4-phase or 5-phase. So this is essentially what happens if you were looking at an AC generator or an AC motor. So all that's going on is it's creating these different sine waves, and I know this is the part where people are like, oh, this is too hard. It's not. So what happens is you energize the generator, and the generator is using fuel to cause the rotor to spin, and inside of the stator, this is the part that, stator meaning stationary, and then the rotor is rotating, and it has 3 different phases on it, phase A, B, and C. And what it does is it creates these 3 sine waves that are 120 degrees out of phase with each other. And that's as simple as it gets, an induction motor or a generator. So this is what goes on, and the reason it does this is because it's rotating inside of the stator. This is a little more complicated too. But alternating current can be converted into direct current by using a bridge rectifier, also known as a 4-way bridge rectifier. So what it does, over here, representing on the right, you can draw this several different ways, but all it's doing is it's taking the bridge rectifier is only allowing current to pass through in one direction, and it chops it off. So if you're looking back at this one, where you see the sine wave goes above and below the 0 point, over here on the right, it actually is only going down to the 0 point and never beyond it. It's chopping the sine wave in half. And these little symbols, these triangles with a line, looks a little bit like a horn, like a bullhorn. That's known as a diode. It only allows current to pass through in one direction. Very, very similar to a check valve. And if you want more information on it, another video for parents to watch. Now, that one's about 8 minutes long, so I'm not going to play it right now. And then resistors. What are resistors and why are they required in circuits? Well, a resistor is very similar to an insulator, but resistors also oppose the flow of voltage and current on a circuit, but still allow voltage and current to flow. And I may need to rephrase that. All circuits require one or more resistors in order to function properly. Circuits without resistors are called short circuits. And if you have a short circuit, your power source can get completely messed up, but will ultimately trip the circuit breaker or blow the fuse. But if you just attach a wire directly across the hot and neutral, the positive and negative of a battery, it will deplete the battery instantaneously. It short circuits the inside of the battery, and good luck if it'll ever work again. You can try, but yeah, and resistors have these different stripes on them, and those different stripes represent the ohmic value, which means how much resistance there is across this resistor. And those are pretty much used in electronics, not in electrical. Go ahead. Yep.
Yeah, they call that letting the smoke out of the wires when you do that. You can't do that. That's actually the joke I always tell to my class that I heard from one of my electrical instructors back when I was a wee little apprentice. And he said, everything that uses electricity runs on a magic smoke. And he was looking at us dead serious. He's like, fuck, I'm not even kidding you. He's like, watch, I'm going to let the magic smoke out of this little thing. I think it was a resistor. And he's like, oh, the magic smoke just got out. You think it'll work? And we were like, oh, we get it. Okay, yeah. You got to keep that. You got to keep the magic smoke inside of it. Otherwise, it stops working. Got to.
Yeah, there's lots and lots of different types of resistors, though. And also, anything that uses electricity, anything that's a load, is considered a resistor. All right, now, voltage. What is voltage exactly? Well, this is called an air gap at a substation when they have to, or at a power plant, a switch yard. This is a little graphic down here. What they do is they open up the contactors in order to do like a shutdown or something like that. And that is an insane amount of voltage. That's probably 500 to 750,000 volts. But voltage is the pressure from an electrical circuit or circuits power source that pushes charged electrons, as in the form of current, through a conducting loop, enabling them to do work such as illuminating a light. This is also known as Coulomb's law. In brief, no, I don't have Coulomb's on there. I took that one off. In brief, voltage equals pressure, and it is measured in volts, which is known as electromotive force, EMF. The term recognizes Italian physicist Alessandro Volta. Now, those are the dates he was alive. He was alive for a pretty long time back then. In the early days of electrical technology, voltage is known as electromotive force. This is why in equations such as Ohm's law, voltage is represented by the letter E. So is voltage dangerous? Hell yeah. Like you can't even be standing close to this when this air gap opens, it's an air switch. If you get too close to it, it'll kill you. Like you won't even know you're dead. Like it'll just instantaneously. So if you ever seen what these signs, danger, high voltage, keep out, keep out.
It wouldn't be a bad way to go though. It would be pretty instantaneous.
I mean, I can show you videos of that too. People that actually committed suicide on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I bet.
It barbecues them very quickly. All right, continuing on with voltage part 2. If someone goes to use a sink, shower, or garden hose, they will quickly understand that the more the valve is opened, the more water will come out at a faster rate. This concept is analogous to how voltage behaves on a conductor. So a weak water stream is low voltage. Strong water stream, high voltage. It's that simple.
Same with prostate health.
Wait, what?
Said it's the same with prostate health.
All right. So how is voltage measured? It's measured using tools we call voltmeters or multimeters. Everyone just uses multimeters now. I've only seen a voltmeter like twice. Yeah, why would you carry one of those around when you can have everything combined into one? So yeah, Ohm's law is a useful tool for figuring out how to calculate voltage. And then I took Coulomb's law off of it, but a coulomb is the quantity of measurement for electrons. Now this part I disagree with because I don't know how anyone could possibly ever comprehend or figure out it's 6.25 times 10 to the power of 18 electrons. That's per second, by the way, which is 6.25 quintillion electrons per second. Other books say 6.28 quintillion, but it's like that's a number that's insanely large.
Incomprehensible.
Yeah, how do they fucking do that? Anyways, and almost done here. So electricity is very dangerous. Just understand that. If it's 50 volts or below, it's probably pretty safe to work on. You probably won't even notice it. Treat all wires, circuits, and equipment as if they are energized. My rule is, unless I can see both ends of the wire, I treat it like it's energized. Always consult with a qualified electrician or engineer if you are unsure about any electrical project. The three main electrical properties are voltage, amperage, and resistance. Obviously, there's a lot more, but I'm not going to get into inductance, impedance, reactance, or anything like that for the time being. And in conclusion, there will be more presentations about electricity in the near future. Each presentation will gradually be more advanced and complicated. But if you have any questions, here's my info, my personal email, and that's my Telegram contact. So that's all I got for now.
Excellent.
Very cool.
Well done.
And like I said, I'm going to convert this over to an Adobe PDF or a PowerPoint, and that way I can easily distribute it without sharing my Google Drive to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's fun getting those emails that come in and just somebody requesting permission to view it. So you got to grant 3,000 people permission. Every once in a while, I still get an email from my Google Drive letting me know that somebody wants to access the Voyage MP3 from me starting my voiceover reading of the Voyage.
I think there's a way you can solve that if you're still getting requests for it. What you can do is copy all of the information and then delete the file and then just put it right back on your Google Drive, and then it creates a different pathway, which they don't have access to anymore. They can't even request it at that point.
Yeah, I don't mind. I just thought it was weird.
Well, hopefully everyone found that a little useful. I know it wasn't super complicated, but I did get into some of the stuff that might be a little misconstrued in regards to what people think about electricity.
All I see in chat is they're asking you to see your time machine that you built.
Hey, well, I got that right here. I got my little
There we go. I knew it was there in the background.
Oh yeah, I'm building a little thing to go on my
a rodent coil.
Yeah. And how to build a single phase motor with a D battery. And then I need to make about 50 more of these.
Are you familiar with, my voice is gone. Are you familiar with electrum? It's a natural mineral. It's in nature. It's a mixture of gold and silver that actually is formed in wires. And so it's like natural threads of wire running through it.
Electrum?
Yep, it's called electrum.
No, I'm not. I'm going to look it up right now.
Just thought you'd like that. Because again, all of this stuff that we do and to build into, again, it's all in nature and we copy, but you're like most beautiful conductor out there in nature is going to, in my mind, be electrum. And you did a great job presenting.
Well, thank you.
I've been spoiled because, again, I've spent how many years in the household with Bob, and he was very much into this. We had charts, we had things, and he bounced ideas and did it. So I have an understanding that's probably, again, not normal, even though I didn't do what you did. And it's hard. It's hard to explain and make easy and break down, and you did a fabulous job with it. That I added to the chat on there. Did I spell electrum right for you, or
ELECTRUM? Yeah, I found it.
think in nature. So
Oh, there's an Electrum Bitcoin wallet.
that's every
That's
time I mention that, and then that comes up. It's funny when you come up with terms and that you put them on there. It seems like they always come up a lot of terms that mean differently, but no, the natural material, naturally occurring. That's why I went after their naturally occurring alloy of gold and silver with a trace amounts of copper and other metals. How it ranges from pale to bright yellow, and do images of that. It comes out and it will actually even form in like where like things in foil, not in nature. So
Yeah, it looks like
something
people have
used
been
in
using it for.
ancients. Yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
for a long time.
Oh yeah, for actual coins too, not just
Jeez,
Bitcoin.
that is so
Yes.
insane. I clicked on that video Lowry said to check out, and it shows how small microchips are now.
Is
Like
it like
how much
mimsy?
information?
I'm having trouble with that video
I
because
haven't got it, but Larry, is it like his
It looks
mimsy?
like CGI.
resolution, and yeah, I'm afraid that's been put together. It may be real images that have been assembled, but a microscope can't do what that's doing, or at least up until my time in college.
Yeah,
They
it's
could
really
do it
interesting.
now. Fuck, I don't know, but yeah,
How they actually
I've
make
been
them.
doing some background research on that actual video, trying to see, and I found one from like 2014 of an actual electron view of the insides, and just I don't know. I have trouble with it, but it could be real. I'm not the one. I just don't think that's all like one shot. It had to have been assembled. for
Oh
that
yeah,
video.
for sure. There's no way. I don't think there's a microscope that can do that.
Yeah.
Not like that.
Yeah,
Well, I
it's say
got a
maybe
buddy
all
that makes
real
them.
footage of zooms, but that's not all one zoom. That's just not
I haven't
resolutionarily
seen the link. I
possible.
haven't seen the video
What
or
about the
anything.
size of it? You think that things are that small?
I don't know.
On these
I don't, who the
microchips?
fuck can? I mean, what are you doing to work on stuff that small? What are you doing? Like magic?
That's
at
what
that
I'm
point?
saying,
I mean,
dude.
really?
It's
What
got-
are you
where are these
manipulating
coming
shit
from?
that small with?
I know how they do it. They use lasers. My buddy works at microchip manufacturing place over here in Silicon Valley, and he explains how it
Onions and
works.
lasers
But I'm
and
like,
yeah.
how do you know it's how it works? He's like, because we can measure it and we do it and it works. I'm like, all right, good enough, I guess. Yeah,
Oh, yeah, it's
putting up.
magic. That's spells, and they're putting that shit on there with spells. Because that, I mean, physically, there's limits to the new. It's I don't know.
Right? Is there?
I don't know.
Practically,
I'm not a
is
scientist,
there?
nor do I play one on TFR. I mean, on HNS. God, I flash back.
What's even crazier about it is that it's transistors, and it's hard to explain in words what a transistor is, but it's like 2.5 different circuits combined into one small little area, and like a modern computer chip, like CPU, like even your computer.
Capacitor.
No, like my CPU, he said that I have just north of 1 billion transistors on this little thing the size of a quarter.
Wow.
That's what he told me. So, all right, I'm gonna hop off. If anybody else wants to hop in and take my place, I gotta go make some food.
Well, thank you so much, Andrew. That was awesome, man.
No, my pleasure.
Yeah, no doubt, brother.
If you guys, if anybody has any questions ever,
need to
let me
learn
know.
about.
And I didn't interrupt you with the electric slide once. I just want somebody to make note of that.
I know, right? You did have it covered, like a blanket version across the whole show, though. So.
Questions here.
All right.
All right, guys. Thanks very much. I will catch you next time. Yeah, next time.
Thanks, Andrew.
Cheers.
Sounds good, man.
Or the
Thanks,
time
Andrew.
after. Whichever.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Andrew.
brother. Truly.
Are we having quiet time?
I reckon.
I'm still digging through videos of computer chips, trying to work this out.
You know, once upon a
haven't
time, I
started
had
any of that, but you saw the last Mimsy, right? Of course you have.
one of my favorites.
Oh,
Mine too. So do you remember when like they zoom in and it's an itty, bring it in and it's an itty bitty Intel?
There's Intel inside or something. Yeah.
Intel. Like what on the electron microscope? That's all I can. You guys are talking that, so all I can see of them zooming in on Mimsy.
Well, there's that one guy, he was showing those wires. I think we were talking about this on the morning show. And it looks like a regular USB cable that you would get from Apple for your iPhone or for your iPad or whatever. It just looks like the regular one. But it has a little computer inside of it with an RFID chip thing. And so all you have to do is plug this into your computer to charge it. And this guy could have control of your whole network and take over and do everything. Just with this little thing in the, that's a pretty small little thing. The iPhone charger head mount thing that plugs in. I forget the name of the cable. I sent it to Jaron. I told him to check it out. See if he could use that for work somehow. But yeah, they were $20,000. The NSA was making them, but now they're down to like $200. Private sector got a hold of them. Yeah, Jaron. Knodel.
Josh, am I big on the screen? Because if so,
You don't want to be?
I don't want to be big. It's like,
I mean, you're not by yourself. It's just the way Skype arranges 3 people on there. Here, I can do this.
O.MG cable.
There you go.
O.MG cable. That's what it's called. They're about $200. I think you can just order them. But I don't see how that thing would be legal. So yeah, they can make shit small. They have to be able to have something like that that can do all that stuff. Nemo says play a song. I got a song.
do you have a song?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's a quick one though. Maybe like 3 minutes. 2 minutes and something seconds maybe. Whoa.
We lost him. I don't think he's going to play a song.
Yeah, there was a plane going by. That'll probably get us struck down.
Well, I'm looking forward
plane
to
going by?
here.
No.
What are you, a World Trade Tower?
Louis Armstrong. What a wonderful world.
Thought you were going to do some Pink Floyd and look, Mommy, there's an airplane.
Are we
in the
playing that?
sky."
Really? We're playing that? If we're going to play that, I got to let Melanie know. That's her favorite song. Michelle's sister. That's like her jam. I'm going to tell her to tune in. What was that? Tube. I don't know what that was. I'm working on pipes. That's what it is. I'm working on plumbing.
Dude, that sounds like no fun.
I'm just CYA. That's all that was. Josh, here, Josh. You ain't starting to shit now, are you?
Starting off fresh.
Oh, shit, I was kidding, but did we lose Josh? Are we on the air? I'm not on the call. I'm on the call, but I'm on the small screen. Yeah, he's still here. Okay.
It'd still be here, still be active. For any of those interested in Crystal's Rock Talk and Map Talk in that, we last night did a replay on Glowbusters called Even the Rocks Cry Out. And
Nice.
I don't know, it's one of my favorites as far as ones I've done. Just getting into, again, nature, crystal, rocks, and how everything in the realm works together, and the electrum and again, different materials. It's all there. It's beautiful. But just a shout out to that. It's an old video, but I think a good one. And did we find Josh? And we, of course, flatearthfestivals.com. We have Flattoberfest coming up.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about
we do.
before the show.
Damn it. I'm sorry.
Instead of Louis Armstrong, what a wonderful world, so that when you ask for it, it'll be there and ready. Nope. Instead, let's call for it in the middle of the show. Then immediately ask where Josh is.
Where's Josh?
Getting Louis Armstrong's What a Wonderful World. So sorry for how I was ignoring you. I was there. I was just trying to get it all pulled up, and I'm not very good at multitasking.
Well, no, we just know you sometimes have surprise internet inspections or whatever there.
Yeah, no shit. Some
Being
crackhead trying to
artistic,
suck the smoke out of the wires.
Right. There you go, Andrew. Yeah, damn it.
Can't suck the smoke out of the wires. Just saying. It's never a good thing.
We can take a little break. It is only about 2.5 minutes, not even. But still, it'll give you a chance to sit back and take a couple poofs off your whatever it is whatever it is.
Poofing.
Whatever it is. I look back through the chat, saw the questions, and Darren asks, is the electricity the ether? And no, I don't think so.
Disturbance of the ether. It's what is disturbing it.
I think that the electromagnetic field almost that's what creates the field that's perturbated and disturbed and set, but it's a little bit more than that. Again, I see it almost as part of the grid. But if you watch Stephen the Rocks cry out, you would see how that would come together. But I don't think you could say, the electricity is the ether or the magnetism is the ether. That is oversimplifying. It's how things work in tandem and are
ether is
perturbated.
the lack of electricity.
Ooh, I like
the
that.
lack of magnetism.
I like that.
It's the lack of everything. It's zero. We don't ever want to see ether. That means Mother Nature wins and all potential differences have equalized. We need that disturbance. Always. And the showering down, we have positive from above just constantly flowing down. Don't know where it's coming from. They've called it the one for the longest time. You go back to the oldest things they have that are about, this type of stuff, the emerald tablets of Thoth or something like that. Hermes Trismegistus.
Uh-huh.
And he says all is from one. That's the first law of hermetics, is all is from one. And that's where everything returns back to. Yeah, entropy is,
So they changed.
They call that
ether
Mother
into the
Nature.
Vacuum. Vacuum doesn't.
It's
exist,
just,
so yeah.
all the potential is trying to equalize. Thank God, or the one, that they can't, because they're always being perturbed.
Man, I know that feeling.
You know how they put that lower third under people when they go on other shows? That's usually what they put under me. Oh my. Are we about to? Oh wait, is she doing it? Oh man, they're in a restaurant.
We're finishing. I'm trying to see without the glasses and do this and stuff. I can't
All
see.
right. Well, apparently Sheldon and her sister at a restaurant, so they're not going to get to hear this live, but they will hear it. I'm going to make them hear it tomorrow. So this one goes out. It's 75 here on the Bayou side. This one's a special request by Zack and Zabala. It goes out to Chitlin Marie. Heading your way.
I see trees of green. Red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue, clouds of white, bright blessed days, dark sacred nights. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the skies, also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies crying. I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh, yeah.
I'm tough as nails, sweeter than wine. I pull my weight, I get to shine. You can't write this shit. I know I tried it. And now you know, and once you know, you can't not know. I fucking know. I know. My hands were tied, or so I thought. Unlearning all I have been taught. You can't write this shit. I know I tried it. And now you know, and once you know, you can't not know. I fucking know. I know. And once you know, you can't not know I fucking love. I know.
You know, people always talk to me about when I was young, when I was running up and down the buildings, getting the pigeons for all these drug dealers. I mean, these guys were bad people. They wanted to kill me. They were throwing bricks at me. I thought I was in a nightmare. I didn't know if this was reality or if this was the truth. That's why I always wish that ironrealmmedia was around back then, because I didn't know what was truth or not. So now I listen to ironrealmmedia all the time. Now I'm walking around the earth and I'm thinking to myself, yes, guess what? This earth is flat indeed.
I was just thinking of all the fun, different sound bites I could cut into that. See how many different things we can, eating babies and praising Allah, all kinds of stuff we could cut into there.
I was just thinking of the fun fact, with the lyrics of the song that, I don't know if you know this, but Scorpions, Rock You Like a Hurricane, when they first sent it in to the producers, the original track was Buck You Like a Hurricane, not Rock. They were told they had to change it. But that was the original, so when they were doing that, it was like, okay, now they're letting Buck through a little bit. But Time of the Scorpions, they got an ixnay on that one. Fun musical facts. They wanted to be a little bit edgy for their time.
They were always a little ahead of the curve on the that. Right. There was a song on the Zoo. That last song, I believe, that was very like, yeah, I want you.
Elton John, they beat the bitch always out in America. They, always beat it out. But Elton John, who was at his height and real popular, he did put out the bitches back, which I think has bitch 78 times in the song. And they couldn't, it wound up having that bitch no longer got bleeped on the radio because everybody demanded and wanted to hear the song, but you couldn't play it with beeping it so many times. He did an intentional little fuck the censor thing on that one, because he made it just a wonderful, catchy tune with another fun fact on how, again, the first time that got through uncensored, and, things have changed a little bit since the 70s.
Just a bit.
Just a bit.
Overall,
Hey,
Cami,
Zack,
in
you're muted.
what direction would you say it's changed since the 70s? Do you think it's changed for the better or changed for the worse overall? I'm sure there's, argument to be had for both sides. I'm just curious as to which one you think outweighs the other.
I'm going to say it changed for the worse because the songs were out there anyway, even though they didn't get the top 40 play. I mean, you still had titties and beer. You could go to the concerts. You had the underground copies. Things were available if you wanted, lyrics and things out there. And again, even like Cheech and Chong, you could do it. They just couldn't play it on American Top 40. In other words, it set that market, but it had the other market out there. So it didn't take it entirely against Scorpions and that just putting out such a mainstream type of hit and putting it in. That was probably like a bit bold for the radio, but not as raunchy as today's. But if you look at the overall musical quality of the songs being produced, the musical quality of them and the stuff put in, it's gotten worse. I don't think that you can. I think if you take the top 10 from the 80s, the 70s, or that, and again, and you compare, you can take a top 10 week from the 80s and say that, in fact, Professor Rock does it a lot. But again, you'll have where in 1 week there will be every single song will be better than anything we're putting out right now. we're not putting out a lot of good talent right now when you're listening to the good music. There's a thing back and forth, but a lot, again, the shock lyrics and that. It's old. It never was. Do I sound like an old lady or grandma? I am an old lady or grandma, but I like to hear talent. I want talent with it. Occasionally, you have some artists that do have talent, and that's some of the stuff I like, or a little bit of humor. But again, even within my time, I was not. It was funny. Bob and I crossed over in music, and he was like the hardest, and I was like the softest of the same bands in a way.
You sound like me and Shell.
But again, I only really liked ballads not done by hard rockers. If not, they were a whole different genre almost. Michelle will get it, what I'm saying. Again, so much of it just sounded like noise, but again, within it, there was so much nuggets, even within the hard stuff, where they brought the brilliance together, all of the instruments. You think of Rush, you think, again, all the different artists and the talent that was out there. I mean, we had in the same year, like Michael Jackson, Thriller, and Prince, and Pink Floyd. All of these were all in the top 10s with Led Zeppelin, all at the same, fighting each other for number one place. Did you know that, is it Stairway to Heaven, or one of the big, it might be Stairway to Heaven, never broke number one on Billboard's Top 40? Because the competition that was up against those weeks. That overall, when you do the top 40 and the weeks that they're on the chart, overall it's a number one song. But again, up against the competition it was in the weeks, it stood the test of time, where a lot of them, didn't so much. But the competition of the good music out there going back is amazing. And you can sit there and say, oh, shocking, or this and that, or you can even, again, it's funny, they take innocent songs and put dark meanings to it, but the music, again, it's not explained well in the 60s or 70s. We also, we had Walk on the Wild Side, and there was a lot of...
Candy cane?
Yeah. Just, again, you could have your genre in that, but I do think the talent that any other opinions on here, or am I just old? But again, looking for talent and effort and work and the quality and the organization of the music, and again, taking artists like Rush, for instance, or Pink Floyd, or that, saying, what do you guys have that compares?
And there were some
Anyone in the
really
chat?
good musical bands that have come and gone, like in every decade, I would say. Prince was a phenom. When you look at like the design of music, how people design their music, that guy was so advanced with his bass lines and stuff. He designed his bass line specifically so other artists couldn't steal his music and play it. Like, he did all kinds of stuff that, most artists never even thought about doing.
Look at what Queen did in their time, and the entire thing they spanned. Even the Stones, I grew up in the golden age of music, and we didn't know, because our American Top 40 right now, again, the classics going by, it was unlike previous generations. This has all stood the test of time. I really think is mimicked and picked up. The songs are picked up over and over again, even in today's lyrics. But I sit there and think Sunday number one, Sunday number two, when you go to an all-day concert and you have Heart and the Rolling Stones and George Thorogood, the Destroyers, and God, who else? Fleetwood Mac, again, all of these 10, 15 bands playing together. That was the norm. I mean, that was every year you'd have your Sundays, Sunday 1, Sunday 2, and the concerts in between, and they were such good bands. It's different.
It definitely has changed a bit. And then the good thing about having the internet and the ability to go back to music means that a lot of young kids are still into great music. They don't all listen to the shit that's being made for them, quote unquote, today. And I definitely had a hand in training my children correctly with music so that they've gone on to learn and find and bring me stuff now that's amazing because it's influenced by stuff that they grew up listening to with me.
Breakfast with the Beatles every Sunday morning. That's how my mom did it.
I like it too in a way too that I'm loving watching. I do like watching the reaction videos with kids in their teens and 20s going back and seeing how they react. And one of the things that they look at is culture. By looking at the music, the crowds, the reactions, like culture is not what we were being taught. Women's rights were not what we were being taught. Different things are not. Wait a minute. We're looking at slices of actual reality here, and it's not matching the story. So I always find that helpful. I think it's good to look back at some of the old game shows, at the different talks, and see the programs, and again, see and listen to. I listened to Nikki Haley talk about, and she's 6 years younger to me than me, talking about how being the poor colored child in the beauty pageant, they didn't have a place. They had brown, but not for me a category. And it's like at the same time, Vanessa Williams was up on the podium, and we had Cosby's playing. Again, it's not.
Oh no, it's a joke.
It's a joke. It's a joke with
playing a
their
race card.
Mm-hmm.
She's white. Come on, she's as white as you and me.
Wasn't there some?
I could say I'm Mexican, right? Because my last name's Zabala and blah blah blah. No, I'm white. Look at me. I'm white. That's just how it is.
I'm Polish. Oh,
wasn't there some dumb politician talking about how they were in like college, getting high, and listening to the new Tupac album or something, and it was like years after Tupac died.
Yeah. That was
wait for it.
Kamala Harris.
Yeah, sure
was saying something about that.
Yeah. But no, I'm sure she's genuine and sincere and means what she says. You can take that to the bank. Just don't withdraw any cash.
I'm going to take him outside. You got to go potty?
I just did.
Yeah. Oh, you just did? You're lying, dude. You're not getting sandwich. No.
I want sandwich.
Stop.
That was me stepping away from the things. This is all about the fact that there is a firehouse sub on the countertop, and they think that they throw their hips up high enough dance with Twitter and Joy. He's going to come my way now. Hank. Yeah, better be ashamed.
We got these suckers convinced. We just, when we get hungry, we just move a little bit, and these motherfuckers will come feed us. They give us the good shit.
Hey, I was
got these
out in the
humans
garage doing a
trained.
project, and Hank bolted into the garage. Emergency, crying the whole bit. And I'm like, what is Zack hurt? Is, Jeremy's not telling what's going on? Run in the house. Does he go to Zach's room? No. Runs into the kitchen, puts up, looks up at the countertop, says, there's sandwich there. It's like, no, emergency. This is.
But it's just there and nobody's eating it. That's an emergency. I can fix. I can help.
Don't want it to go
It's like,
bad.
Sir, it's like, really, you have to bust in and tell me about you just discovered it or what? But yeah, emergency. I know we're boring people to get, just completely to death with household emergencies. These are good kind of emergencies to have. I enjoy that.
Absolutely.
My heart is still going out to Miss Karen B, who lost Romy this past week.
Oh no!
I'm sure you've heard of. And
oh no, didn't know. Sorry to hear that.
Very, very fond of that dog, and I know that she, Remy was there, for her. Remy was protection and everything, so I know this is really, really hard on her. It always is hard to lose an animal.
Yeah. He was my buddy.
Yes, he was. He was my buddy too.
Yeah. Ram. Gonna miss you, man. Neener.
He once was bad. He once was really bad. When I was staying over there, got on my nightstand and got a single Skittle, mind you. Put a Skittle, and then he'd chewed on it for, ever and ever and ever. And he was so happy, and like the rest of the time over there, I would not give him any more Skittles. And I had to warn Karen, Skittles are not safe in this household because your dog, I've never seen any dog wanting to chew on it. But she's like, you gave him it. And I was like, I didn't mean to, but I'm just telling you, he's like looking everywhere. If you're wondering, he's Skittle bound. But no, he's a great, great dog. She did let me come back and take care of him, and he didn't get any more Skittles, and it wasn't abuse, and it wasn't intentional. But yeah, I sometimes have on my nightstand these candies. So
These things happen.
These things happen.
Oh yeah. Here's another great Kamala quote.
Oh God.
And then best rapper alive.
Tupac.
He's not. You say he lives on.
But not a lie. I know. I keep doing that.
There you go. Either she's trying to tell us something. There's truth in plain sight, or she is just that stupid.
Or it could be both.
You're right. Don't let me fool you with a false dichotomy. There's no reason those two things can't exist at the same time. There you go. Greatest rapper alive.
Tupac.
Yep. Put that on the breaking news.
Easy E. I mean,
Biggie Smalls? She asks.
Eric B. Rakim?
Crazy.
Joski Love is still alive, right?
Oh, rap? I have to say something about rap? Tupac. That's when I know that, anybody who's a black voter, if I say I like Tupac, then they'll be on my side. So if you ask me any question about rap, even the greatest rapper alive today, I'm just going to say Tupac.
Still Tupac.
It's still Tupac.
That's how good he is. And probably totally straight and not gay at all. That whole sensitive poet shit was just a put on.
I'm guilty of thinking most rap is crap, but every now and then there's a song I really like that amuses me but I don't want to listen to a whole bunch of bad stuff to get to, but we could compile some good songs.
There's a category of rap called nerd rap that you'd probably like.
I might
Cami.
like that.
There's a lot of good, entertaining stuff. I'm like, Jaron may appreciate it if you're good.
I might like nerd rap.
Well, if you're into like the video games and like the Marvel movies and the superheroes and shit like that and all the nerdy shit, then it might be all right. But like I said,
that's not
that kind of stuff might be a little.
But it's a different nerdy. That's digital nerdy. I'm analog nerdy. nerdy, dirty, like
Nerdy is
Roxy
pocket
string.
protectors and protractors. And
Now,
going to the science store,
is it really?
at the mall.
Like, if you saw
No,
somebody.
it is.
No, but I mean, if you.
It is.
I get it. That's. Like, I've seen guys like, oh, I'm going to come out here. I'm going to be a nerd that plays basketball. And then I'm going to, like, totally show off and won all these punk out here on the court. So I'm going to show up and I'm going to button my shirt all the way up to the very top button. I'm going to put on dark, thick rimmed glasses, and I'm going to put some tape in the middle like they're broken. I'm going to snort and laugh. I'm going to have like greasy, slick down hair. I mean, I'm going to put a pocket protector in there, maybe even a little pin ink leak, just to show that sometimes I don't always use my pocket protector. But that's what happens when you don't use a pocket protector, which is why he's got a pocket protector now. Probably pants are going to be a little too small, a little too tight, about 3-4 inches up the heel. Oh, yeah.
Don't forget the tape on the glasses.
Oh, no, those thick rimmed glasses were definitely taped in the middle. And probably one on the earpiece, too, just to be safe.
Nerdy for girls and boys is totally different because, like, nerdy for girls for me.
Well, that was nerdy in, like, 1985. That would have been totally nerdy.
I was nerdy in 1985 and that, too, and it would be like the guys.
Revenge of the Nerds.
That was my nerdy era as well. It would have been the 80s.
But like, if you go around now and be like, where's all the nerds? They're not going to be like a group of guys at the mall hanging out with all their shirts buttoned up to the top. Like, I don't know that nerd exists anymore.
They're playing Dungeons and Dragons. They don't got time to be at the mall. No, I'm joking.
I know. Nobody's got time to be at the mall.
Nerdy kids at school, that's what they were usually doing on the weekend. While we're out playing sports or, you know, getting in trouble doing something, they were playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Huh.
There was a lot of that. And then Magic the Gathering came around when I got a little bit older. And then I guess that's what they started doing.
No, Magic the Gathering, again, I never played any of the games, but Magic the Gathering was interesting because I guess people that played the game or that would write editions of books
Mm-hmm.
based on
About
their
all the
games or whatever.
creatures and, yeah, their powers and the different
But
lands.
novelettes and novels not around it. So when you're in the sci-fi section, you had a whole section of where you jumped into. You're basically. So I read a lot of Magic the Gathering books because they're out. A lot of them were really, really good. But you
Maybe
know,
some-
reading in the hot tub used to be my guilty pleasure, and it's not the same as game. You know, this is better. Can't game. I guess you could game in the hot tub. You could electrocute. I mean, talk to Andrew about that. It's not good. Are we done?
I mean,
Are we boring people to pieces or?
no, we're just trying to figure out some rappers you might like. Larry says, Lil Jon and the East Side Boys. I think maybe Cannabis. There's a rapper out there called Cannabis you might like. He's kind of a...
Trying to play a song for me with the rappers?
We'll ease you in with something
Well,
like
you-
21 Pilots or...
Can you play a song right now for me? Because Zach knows what I'll make you play.
Hey there, Georgie girl.
It's Nettie's Girl. Can you play Nettie's Girl for me? Best rap
It's the
song
Beastie
ever.
Boys.
It's
Yeah,
Beastie
this is her
Boys.
favorite rap song, she says. Not a rap
Again.
song.
It's Beastie Boys.
It doesn't. So what? It's not a rap song.
It's Beastie Boys.
It doesn't matter if people who
It's
usually
Beastie Boys.
sing rap.
I know that the first time I heard it, I laughed so hard I almost wet my pants because it's like, this is so bad. It's like, you know what it's like? It's like Minions singing. It is.
Maybe you can get him singing. Well,
I bet he would sing
they
to
are.
it.
It would probably
I bet.
be
I
better
know
than
this would
their
be for
version.
sure. You know, if we get this playing and picking it up, I bet Minion would sing to it because this is the type of music you can sing to. I don't think you could get in trouble playing this Beastie Boys song because I don't think they could. Well, there are other weird people like me that like it. He's not going to play it for me. It's called Nettie's Girl.
Hey there, Nettie's girl.
Georgie girl. Song's Nettie's girl, but it is Georgie girl. Which I do love Georgie girl too. That's another great song.
You want me to play it, Josh?
Not talking.
What's it? Nettie's?
I'm Nettie's girl.
Oh, there it is. Oh, Jizzle Pits.
Doesn't get worse.
Well, look, I was almost kind of waiting for a link because last time I just went for a link that I found myself and ended up with some old Louis Armstrong that apparently could barely sing anymore and weird live version that I wasn't particularly fond of.
Here you go.
So I was a little scared to just go around clicking on links on YouTube because I think Walter's right. They're just.
So I think you can even share the videos. Like now, if you're not doing the monetization, they just put a share on it. Almost on all of them. But
it wouldn't be bad if there weren't like 4 different options, all different looking, different lengths, different thumbnails. That's the one I would have chosen. And I'd have been fucked if I didn't have that down because we need.
I don't think this song can be done good, but it's the one with the boats. You do have to like have the.
I'm in a boat right now.
Oh.
You got to pedal on these boats.
I haven't been on a paddle boat in a long time.
Well, they have them at Lake Lure.
We used to do
Well,
that.
you got to pedal, Josh. You need to pedal.
I prefer a paddle than a pedal.
Well, I do like canoeing.
I prefer
That's good exercise.
Mm-hmm.
I played Tippy Canoe more than once. More than once.
I've canoed down the Tippy Canoe.
I've canoed and I've like we've tipped over canoes, but yeah, it's a whole.
Canoed. I've done the lazy river. That's our favorite. Get the tubes.
See, there's links.
Uncle would go on one of his drives, you know, a couple miles down the river. We'd just be waiting there. We'd all get out at where it banked a little bit and slowed down. It wasn't never really moving all that fast. But yeah, I've been down the Tippy. Sure, there's more than one Tippy Canoe river. I'm going to check.
What happened to our song?
I'm not sure.
I thought we were playing it out.
I dropped one too.
I thought Zack was doing it. He's on Tippy Canoe now.
Oh, are we leaving?
Zack.
Okay, well, then I guess we'll play that one another time. Just listen to that at some point, Cami.
Yeah, we
It's
can
a really
totally
awesome
just keep playing music. I just thought that's what it was. Was that she wasn't that what you wanted a song to play out with, Cami? Or was I confused?
Oh, I don't know.
I thought that's what you were asking for.
It's. I mean, I don't know if it's a good song to play out to. It's the worst song ever. But
she just wanted to share her.
I was just doing it
rap
for
song.
my amusement. For rap, because because when you guys play rap, a lot of the times this is what it sounds like to me, even though it's not quite the same. But it's great upon it's a special rap song.
Yeah, I was totally gonna just use it and play it out. I'm just gonna let
right.
us wind down. I wasn't necessarily announcing this is the out in which we will now play it. I was just saying that when we go out, that's the song we will use. I was just pulling up the link, getting it set up, getting it queued up and ready for that time, which wasn't necessarily now, though it's not necessarily not now either. Whatever y'all are thinking, we're just hitting about the 2-hour, 10-minute mark, 130 minutes.
Sorry, everybody, I've got a warped sense of humor, and forgive me for next week. Beastie Boys.
What does this to play us out mean?
He's going to play it. We're
Please.
gone.
To play it, to write it? We need to write it?
I was gonna play Beastie Boys.
Fuck it, I'll do it live. All right, we'll do it live.
Fuck it, I'll do it live.
Please.
Come on, John.
All right, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and call it for real. Larry, you need to hit me up and come on out and hang out for a bit. Everybody else, thanks for hanging out with us. Fridays are always a long day, and I get a little goofy here at the end, so thanks for putting up with me especially. But it's always good to see you all there in chat, and always make it a fine, fine Friday.
Goofy is as Goofy does.
Love y'all.
Play goofy games, win goofy prizes.
So Andrew, right? Andrew B, thank you so much for that amazing presentation, sir. We'll talk about that word sometime again. So.
Defibrillation. That's a made-up word. They're all made-up words.
It's defibrillator.
Sorry, I'm going right into an Archer episode.
All right, we're gonna get out of here. Love you guys.
All right.
We'll see you back here next week for more. Have no fear. Who knows? We may have something planned. We may have a guest. You never can tell. Till then, be good, be well, do good, do it well. We love you. Bye-bye.
You know about this record, that record? Yeah. Oh, what song? Yeah. Immigration. Okay, good evening, everybody. Everybody ready? Oh, did you go past the leader on the cassette there? Oh, it's rolling. Okay, very good, very good. All right, everybody, take one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey there, everybody. I'd like to tell everybody out there a little story about someone that was very special to me, and this is a special song about that special someone, about just how special things could be. And I'm sure everybody out there has gone felt something very similar to that, and it can sometimes it can be the best thing, it can be the worst thing, it can make you feel great. Georgia girl, oh, Georgia girl, oh, hey there, Georgia girl, yeah, you can kiss that old prom crack guy goodbye because, you know, oh yeah, baby, you know I'm the one, the fucking one. Oh baby, yeah. Yo, you know, I saw you that day. How's your girl, Mike? Oh, she's pretty nice, man. But I tell you, yo, I saw the other girl at Nettie's the other day, and she had her shit together. I'm talking about chip, ha, pa, booming system up top, in the back. Oh, hey there, Georgia girl, Georgia girl. Oh, baby, you look so nice. You got the one. You got your shit together, Georgia girl. Yeah, you looking so nice, Georgia girl. Georgia girl, you know you're on the one. Oh, hey, lovely girl. Yeah, that's right, baby. That was you the first time, you know, I saw you all alone. I was on the boardwalk, you know, you were looking lonely. You know, you was squirting the water in the clown's mouth and everything. But hey, baby, you know, I would win the whole prize for you, the whole 9 yards, the skee ball tickets, everything, baby, for you. Yo, Mike, I think we out, man.
Yeah, man.
All right, Mike, we out, man. Wow. Chill, okay. See you next time.
Be cool, man.
We out.
Chill. You're cool, man. All right. Bye. Chill.
That's tomorrow. And that is it for us today. Okay, I don't know what. Whatever it is, it's not right on the teleprompter. I don't know what that is. I've never seen that.
No, there it is. We are going to do Sting, yeah.
Okay, but
Spectrum Mobile's new deal is so good.
I can't read it. There's no words on it.
Okay. Ready? Sure.
There's no words there. To play us out. What does that mean? To play us out.
Sting is going to do. It's a video. Sting video.
What is
for credits?
I don't know what that means. To play us out. What does that mean? To end the show?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, go.
In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it.
In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. And we will leave you with a. I can't do it.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
Okay. No.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it, and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.